Let's dive into run profiles. A basic way to think about run profiles in Fusionware is this is how you want your pallet to look like, your end product that you're going to be creating inventory. So whether it's going on a pallet, a slip sheet, boxes, bins, bags, we're gonna create this through the run profile. We're first going to go into settings and products and run profiles. I'm going to show you. We're going to show a little bit of this already set up and then go and show you how to create one. So we have two different ways that we can do this. So you'll notice I have all these different counts. And then I also just have a Walmart run profile on here. And so I've got my packing shed location, and I've already created this run profile. And you can see here where we have the Walmart label and all the different sizes for it. And then I've also broken out differently where we have all these different run profiles with Walmart as an optional label. So whether I print it from here with the Walmart run profile and the 40 count, or I go into my 40 count run profile and I click on the Walmart label, it's going to produce the same tag. And this is our pallet tag. It can be printed out on any various type of printer and attached to the pallet. And here's some other options doing a PTI label. So someone like Walmart does require these. There's a lot of different customization on here that can be done with the entire look, but just here with some of the text, we're able to alter some of this. Just on the fly, we can change the pack date to the Julian date. So fully customizable on this. And let's get back in here into our potato line, into these run profiles. And let's get one set up. We're going to go here into our run profiles really quick, and I'll just show you what that setup looks like. So instead of creating separate run profiles, we created one and added these labels, or you can do these individual run profiles for those labels. So we're going to go in and take a look at some of our products. For example, we've got some organic potatoes in here that we want to run through. We've got a 35 count, a 40 count, a 50 count carton that we want to build. And so what is this end pallet, our end product, going to look like? And so keeping that in mind, that means how many boxes are on the pallet. What are we going to want the label to show up as? And so all these things that we put on here for these names and these titles and customers, that's what's going to show up on our pallet tag. So for this run profile, we're going to name it 50 count. We're going to do it like that Walmart Russet Burbank run profile, and we're going to put all of our different sizes underneath this one run profile. And so 42 boxes on there. And we now need to attach our different labels that we're going to have underneath this run profile. And so the first one we're going to do is this 35 count. And you'll see I've already, because it's in the product list, it'll pull up in the drop down. We need to click the plus sign. And then we have the 40 count organic we're going to put in there. And then we're going to do a 50 count. Now I've accidentally selected that, just the regular russets, the Walmart label, but I want this Spud Company organic label. So we've added that. I don't have buttons built for that. I wanted to show that. That'll be here in the settings and products as well, and button labels, and we'll get into that when we're building out some of this other stuff. But this is where you go to put those in. And we'll come do that here in a little bit. But if I were to attach different labels, that's where I pull them from. And so on here, because I've already got my main overall label, I'm just doing these button labels because they're going to fall under this category. So I'm going to go back to our production board, and into our potato line. And you'll notice something here. We do not have the new organic run profile. So we need to go into our packing shed location. You can do it through settings and locations and find it there, or just click on the widget icon, and we're going to go in here into production lines. And I've got my potato line here, and I'm going to go into run profile. And there we go. We don't see that 50, and I want to say 50 carton, but 50 pound carton organics. We're going to add that to our run, to this packing shed, so it'll show up as one of our run profiles. Now we see it there at the bottom. And we can see there to the right the 35 count, the 40, the 50 count. So we can keep these labels pretty simple. And it really comes down to what's going to work best for your situation and the people on the floor that are printing out these pallet tags and the different labels that are going to be going on the product. So I'm going to come back into back here into the run profiles, and I'm going to set this up a little bit differently. So instead of creating a whole separate run profile, actually, because we got those 35 count, I don't have a 35 count run profile. I'm just going to add that really quick here. And so by doing these as individuals, I'm going to now add the product in here like we did before, but our button label is going to be different. So clicking the green plus sign, we don't have that button label, so now we need to go create a unique label that when employees on the floor see that, they're going to be able to select the right label and print out the right item. So back again, the settings, and we don't have the right label that we want, so we're going to create one. We're going to do an organic Spudco label. And so that's, or not, yeah, it's a label, but that's the button that we want to show up. And if it doesn't show up after we've created it, we just need to refresh the screen here. And now we see it down there, Organic Spudco. And let's go back to our production board and take a look. So now it is not there. So remember, we just added this 35 count run profile. So that means we need to go back into our packing shed location and we need to add this 35 count. We're going to click the plus sign and back to our production board. And now it's showing up there at the bottom. We can see that Organic Spudco label that's now part of that run profile. We're going to go back into that 40 count and back there into run profiles. We could have also just clicked the 40 count in there and it would have taken us directly there as well. But now we're adding a new label. We've already got the Walmart for just our standard Russet Burbanks. Now we're going to add this organic label to it. We've already created that label. So this label can be used on anything. It's just simply an identifier. So it really can be named what you'd like. So the 50 count, same thing. We're going to add, we've already got just a regular Walmart label. We're going to add this organic label to it as well. Click the plus sign. Back to our production board. And this is all going to show up nicely. Now we've got our 40 count. You can see all these different labels that we can click on. And there, that's how we would go directly in. So if we wanted, like on this one, I didn't add the label for the 50 count. I forgot about that. So we're going to add it now. Back to our production line, and we can see that showing up for a 50 count as well. So we've got our 35, our 40, and our 50. All those now are labels that we can produce to create our pallet tag. And this will then create our on-hand product. And you can see here stuff is we print these out, it automatically puts that as on hand until that's scanned in and tied to an actual order. So now, let's say we're working on a different line, but we want to produce 50 of these organics, 50 boxes. And we can see how many units are going to be produced per pallet. And we're going to click on this, and yes, we want to print it. And by clicking that print button, we've now printed off physically these labels. We've got 42 total boxes. And now you'll see that number's gone down to 8. So you can do that with your production planning. Put those in so people on the floor can go in there and keep track of what they have left to do. Now I'm going to disable this green giant label. We don't want them accidentally clicking on that for whatever reason, or we just don't want to clog up our screen. And so now that's not even an option for people on the floor. And now I've activated it again, and there it's showing up. And so like on this one, printing this, we've got these barcodes. As soon as we scan it out, that then's going to tie into our sales order and flow through the system. And so there's some different options to customize these pallet tags. Here's some just different examples of ones that we've built. So however you have your daughter tag set up that you need to be able to peel off and attach on different documentation, those can be created and customized however you need. And this has been working with run profiles in Fusionware.